Welcome to this video showing the MC04 speeder in action. This speeder is a working artifact at the BC Forest Discovery Centre in North Cowichan on Vancouver Island. It's a forest industry artifact because it was owned and operated by Crown Zellerbach Nanaimo Lakes operation during part of the 1980s. And it's now a working artifact here at this center because it's used for track maintenance work on the narrow gauge Cowichan Valley Railway. In a separate video, I'll explain the history of this speeder, including the conversion at this center in 2022 to narrow gauge, which was part of a rebuild of the speeder. During the off-season part of the year, when the BC Forest Discovery Centre is closed to the public, I was invited to take part in a photo and video session showcasing the speeder in action in scenes of a typical workday for the track crew. I used 3 cameras to cover the various angles of the scenes, and I had a fun time working with the speeder crew on that day. The first scene of this video is by necessity the first scene of any day of track work, moving the speeder and the work car from the shop area down the switchback, stopping at the supply shed, and heading down the switchback to the main line. This is a good time to mention that the switchback track from the shops down to the main line averages 6.5% grade, and it's 9.0% at its steepest point. Descending the switchback is probably the most dramatic maneuver to see on the Cowichan Valley Railway, and so I'm going to show each of my 3 angles separately. We recorded some scenes of the speeder crossing the Somenos Lake Trestle, and we decided to start on the south side of the trestle near the water tower, showing the approach past the lower grounds sidings. Then I got a bit closer to the south side of the trestle, and while we were waiting, we watched a fisherman make his way across the lake. I've sped this part up. He's not really that fast. I used 3 cameras for that crossing of the trestle. Here's one of my other angles, seen from just below the Lily of the Valley cabin. And the final angle for the trestle crossing is this classic view from the north end. And this is now mid-afternoon with no sunlight on the trestle, and so in order to see the speeder coming across, I need to boost up the brightness, which means we're going to lose the clouds. Just imagine them there. And let's zoom in and see that again. And then I could slow down my shutter speed and bring back the clouds, because now we had the speeder stationary and then moving slowly on the trestle, doing some poses. Just looking at the reflection, which is darn nice still. We got the cloud. This is great. You guys ordered great weather. Yeah, so let's get them to the other side of the barrel. Here's a view in the middle of the Wye where the bunkhouses are just out of sight to my left, and to the right you can see the Honeymoon Bay Cruise Speeder. This gives a good view of the speeder rolling by through the gap, and I'm using 3 cameras for this. This for overall, this looking south with part of the marsh visible and the city in the distance, and this looking north. The north leg of the Wye is operable, and we used that track to record some manual turnarounds. And I used 2 different cameras to get a couple different angles. And now we'll bring a different crew member in and we'll turn it back the other way.
Up highway towards